I have not cut off relationship with anybody before in my own life. People have cut off relationship with me, and the reason why I don't do it is because I've met people that have done the worst things to me, come back to do the best things for me. It has happened to me not once, not twice. When you think about things like that, you'll be like, why do I need to cut off people really? When you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This same person you think is this terrible person today may just be the person that's going to save you tomorrow in your most dire situation, because you can never tell. Once you find that something affects your peace of mind, in my view, there's some people you hang around or you're with or you call on the phone, or you just don't feel yourself when you're speaking to them. It's like you're chasing something, and it happens in relationships too sometimes. Some they think that maybe it's love. It's really not love. It's like it's okay for you to distance yourself.
Welcome to theBLOcounsel, where we talk about everything personal development and business development.
Is it ever a good time to end a
relationship?
And how do you know if it's a good time or when it's a good time? Whether it's work, whether it's romantic relationships, whether it's friendships, is it ever a good time? What are the things to look out for
when you are cutting off someone? Okay, so first of all, before I'll answer that, but first of all, I'll answer personally. There's nobody, I've not cut off relationship with anybody before in my own life. People have cut off relationship with me. Yeah, but for me, and the reason why I don't do it is because I've been, I've had, and the truth is I've had a very, very interesting life. I won't lie about that. But what I've seen is that I've met people that have done the worst things to me, come back to do the best things for me. It has happened to me not once, not twice. So when you think about things like that, you'll be like, why do I need to cut off people really? When you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. This same person you think is this terrible person today may just be the person that's going to save you tomorrow in your most dire situation, because you can never tell. So that's one part of it. But I think coming to your question for real about the things you would see before. I think once you find that something affects your peace of mind, in my view, there's a way, there's some people you hang around or you're with or you call on the phone, and maybe your heart will just, you just don't feel yourself when you're speaking to them. It's like you're chasing something, and it happens in relationships too sometimes, So some they think that maybe it's love, but something, but it's really not love. It's like, so I feel like when you're with someone, a friend or work with whatever, and you're not at peace when you're engaging with them, I think it's okay for you to distance yourself. Yeah, I would say that would probably be the only thing I can think about, would be the reason why anybody should say, oh, I don't want to speak to this person anymore, or I don't want to talk to them anymore. But I think especially for, again, and I don't want to make this a sex thing, but I think especially for men, I think men should not have any reason to be saying that they're cutting people off really. I think men should and I'm speaking about this because I know we all deal with emotions differently, and I know females sometimes deal with emotions differently from men. But for me as a man, I like I said, I have never, it's like people that say they block people. I don't even know where the block is on. How do I block someone? Like, for me, it just doesn't make it somehow. Like, what is it that you can do to me that will make me block you? That's the question. I don't know what somebody can do to me that will make me block them. I just don't know. If you abuse me, you shout at me. For me, because when people do these things, in my own view, I know that it is about them. It's not about me, right? When somebody says something to you that is not nice, when somebody screams, when somebody behaves poorly, that's about them. It is now how you respond to it. That's when you now have the problem. So for me, I don't respond to those type of things much, and even if I don't, let me give another short example. As we wrap up, and this happened recently. There was someone who introduced me with another. They wanted to do something for me, and introduced me to this guy. So the other guy that I was introduced to is the one that is making doing the job for us. So the two of them now, my own friend and the person that is doing the work now had a clash. You know, the one that is doing the job, instead of addressing the issue with the person that introduced us together, he decided to call me instead. And he was, just raising his voice over the phone and, already becoming disrespectful to me. This even happened not too long ago. Disrespectful, blah, blah. I was just listening to him that day. After he spoke for like maybe 3-4 minutes, I didn't even say anything. I just told him. I said, first of all, everything you're telling me right now I'm not the one you're even supposed to be talking to, because you don't even know me. You just introduced it to me. I'm paying you for a job, but you have an issue. So after I spoke to him, he was still arguing. I said, and I made him understand that I'm not speaking to you as a friend. Just think about it as if I'm your brother. So my point, and then the guy listened, and then he apologized, and then he went to call the other guy back and apologized, and they settled everything. My point is, sometimes you realize that even all these conflicts that happen and people fighting each other, it's just for one person in the mix to just have a calm head and just listen to everybody, and then just bring everybody together. Really, it's sometimes the so-called tough things, or rather the tough situations that turn into big problems, are usually resolved by small things. Just like I always say, you see all these wars everywhere, they're fighting all over the world, people will die. At the end of the day, they'll still come and sit down on the table to solve the problem. So what's now the point of all the fighting from the beginning? So yeah, that's so, that's it. So please don't block people, so that WhatsApp can take away the block button from their app. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, final question. But in picking a life partner, what are the things that you consider or you should look out for, especially for somebody who wants to do well in business? So this is for the men
now.
Yes, if the women
say that for
this is for the
not
men
to speak for women, because
exactly from your experience and
I hope I don't get nailed with this question that you asked me, but okay. What do you see? Okay, I'll answer it in two ways too. I'll answer the general, then I'll answer from my own view. I think generally, as a man, I think we're big on kind of like respect. We're big on, respect. I always say that, this whole love, in my own view, I think for men, again, men can comment or, but I think what we as men call love is respect, at least in my own view. I think, we want, a partner who, who respects you. And I'm not here saying that, because I know the females will be like, if you don't respect yourself, uncle. No, I'm not saying, I'm not talking about man that doesn't respect himself. I'm talking about, normal people that, if you respect yourself. I think ideally, you want a woman that, respects you. Because men, we thrive on that, really, even if you get all the disrespect from outside the whole world, you just coming home and knowing that there's somebody that, has your back, somebody that won't, sometimes too, it's just the way someone just talks to you that makes the difference, and that's why I always say that, the females too, we're in this world where, everybody is about, I can do whatever I want to do, I'm this, I'm that. But even in the midst of that, you still need to be cautious of how we speak to ourselves. And that falls into the relationship part. So for the men, I think, if you find somebody who respects you, in terms of what you want, what maybe other qualities you want to look for, I'm with somebody now that, maybe my wildest imaginations, I wouldn't have thought that's the person I'll be with, and I think for me the major reason why that is because I've always been focused on work and business and that type of thing. I'm never one of those people that, I think up until the time when I eventually had someone, I always say that marriage never crossed my own mind. A lot of, just like you asked me now, I could have never asked this question when I was young, never, because I never thought about it. It wasn't something that I was thinking about. I knew I was going to get married one day, but it wasn't just for me. It was just more of, and I think it's just the school of thought that we had. My own school of thought was just build yourself. When you have enough money, you have money. one day you wake up and you'll be like, I want to marry, and the person will just show up. And that's how it happens, really. So, but when it comes to character qualities, like I said, respect, man, just someone who, I like homely, someone, because, we're in a world where now, everybody wants to make money, career women and this and that, which I'm not against, because I think, everybody should have the potential to be able to explore, how far their own potential can go in life, whether it is a career. So even as a man, I think it's important that you support your partner in whatever they want to do, but at the same time, you want somebody who is still homely. I was watching an interview that Donald Trump gave when he had his, I think, a divorce. I can't remember the woman he divorced that time. This was maybe in the 80s or so. And he said something. They asked him why, what happened with the divorce, and he was saying that never walk with your wife, with your spouse. Like, how do I put this now? Not that don't let her work, but don't be in the same business with her, right? Like, you have a business, then you hire your wife to work in your business. So that's what he did. He said he noticed that some days his wife would just be yelling at somebody on the phone, and he's like, man, I didn't marry you to be yelling at people. So for him, and then it's like he also doesn't want to come home and not meet dinner on the table. Some people will see it as maybe sexy, but no. Like, why would you want to be a wealthy man that is well-to-do, has something going for you, and then you come home and there's no food on the table to chop? You want to order something again? So again, people might have mixed feelings about this, but I'm just being truthful. The interesting part of life is that the women want to have the wealthy men. If you ask any girl now, they'll say, oh, I want the man to be earning this amount of money. I want him to be a millionaire. I want him to be a billionaire. But these billionaires, they don't want to come home and the food is not ready, right? They don't want to come home and, and you're not respectful. So there has to be a trade-off, in my own view. So, and I think for young entrepreneurs and, everybody out there that has this vision that, you want to have a beautiful family and all that stuff, really, I think, make your money. When you are solid enough, I think we just always think that, if we don't marry one person, that maybe the world is going to come to an end. And I would end this with one advice that my dad, I always bring him in, because some of the things that I stand for today, I learned from him. There was one thing he used to say when we were growing up as young kids. He would say that the problem with many of the young people then, he would say many of you young people that time, so the problem with you guys is that when you lose something or lose someone in a relationship, you always think you won't get something better, and 100% of the time you will get something better. This is a fact. I can guarantee anybody watching this. If you've lost a relationship, if you think your girlfriend has gone, you are getting a new girlfriend that is better. Yeah. So that's just the way it is. This is a fact. But when you start wallowing in that, this and that, the ball is in your court. So that's it. I hope I answered this really, and please, you guys don't murder me. Just understand that I'm just a human being too. Yeah, thanks so much, guys.